Hello and welcome to COVID Conversations here on WNCU 90.7 FM, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm your host, Kimberley Cartwright. I'm the News and Public Affairs Director here at WNCU, and we're using the Zoom platform as always to talk about how COVID-19 is affecting our world. On the show today, we're going to talk about obesity, and I'm going to ask the question, has COVID-19 gotten you off of your weight loss gain? Dr. Jennifer Giersch, PhD, is the principal investigator for a study called Log to Lose, an evidence-based weight loss and management program. And she's here today to talk to us about it. Dr. Giersch, hello and welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. Feel free to call me Jennifer. I want this to be as much as we can a conversation between us gals. So thank you so much for making time for me this afternoon or this evening. I'm the principal investigator of the Duke site for this study called Log to Lose. That's log number 2, lose, which is a weight management study. Actually, the parent study is out of the University of Wisconsin in Madison under the direction of Dr. Corrine Boyles. We have 2 sites here at Duke and up there in Madison, which is really exciting. This work has grown out of weight loss research work we've been working on for about a decade. Super excited.
Yeah. So how much of an impact do you think that COVID-19 has had on weight gain in the country?
A lot. It really, really has. We don't really have a firm one number you can hang your hat on. There have been several ongoing prevalence studies that have looked at the impact of COVID on weight gain. Kimberly, on average, an American gains 1 to 2 pounds a year over our lifetime. We're really trying to slow that down. During COVID, when we were looking at some of these studies, we were having 45 to almost 60% of people telling us that they gained a significant amount of weight during the pandemic. Of course, that was exacerbated for people who had young children at home that were trying to do that Zoom school. They were the ones that gained a lot of weight. Also, we saw uptakes in anxiety and depression, and with that, increased weight gain too. So can I tell you whether the COVID-19 is a hard number that people gained on average about 19 pounds? It really ranged, but most people are reporting that they gained a bunch of weight.
Wow. So let me talk to me about why this study is important post-COVID.
Oh, as we're getting out of COVID, we are all really thinking about how can we regain control of our lives? How can we regain control of our health? And, regaining control of our weight loss journey, whether we were on that prior to the pandemic hitting or whether we're starting a new weight loss journey, this is something that we can all do to improve our health. Every pound that we take off is good for our health. And so as we think about why this study is important coming out of the pandemic, it really is well suited for the life that we have now. Pre-pandemic, when we wrote this grant and got the funding for it, we were going to do in-person classes. This gives us an opportunity during the pandemic. We pivoted seamlessly to doing it now all on Zoom. So we're able to make this a really accessible weight loss program for so many people. You could be calling in to Log to Lose just like we're interacting today. And that's made us the ability for people to engage with us so much more. As long as you have an internet connection and can hop on a Zoom call, you can participate in the study. You don't have to come down to Duke or come down to the community center or wherever we would have hosted those classes.
I would like to talk now, if you don't mind, Jennifer, about the health-related impacts of obesity. So what are people suffering through, maybe if they're overweight?
About 40% of Americans are classified as obese. That's a BMI of 30 plus, and that number goes up almost every single year. I'm sure some people may have seen those CDC heat maps that look at the sort of growth of obesity over time, and those rates of like overweight, obese, very heavy obesity, those are all getting larger and larger and larger every year. What are the health effects of obesity? It affects everything. It affects our heart, our lungs, our joints hurt more when we're carrying that weight. Just think about it. Put a backpack, a big old heavy backpack on your back, how your knees creak, how your shoulders creak. That's what that excess weight is doing. It's putting pressure on your joints, on your feet, on your arches. It makes every system work harder. It affects your skin. It affects the way we process medications. It affects our sex drive, our ability to get pregnant and stay pregnant, have healthy pregnancies. Every system in our body just about is affected by obesity. Did I
Very,
answer your question?
yes, you did very well.
Thank
So
you.
I want to ask this question. Okay. So if I just tried to lose a little tiny bit of weight, say if I maybe lost 5 pounds, would that be a benefit for my body, taking off some of that weight?
You know, in losing about 5% of your body weight, people are seeing big rates of changes in taking diabetes medication. They are seeing their high blood pressure, their hypertension drugs go away. They're seeing better control of a lot of those diabetes and high blood pressure type of conditions. So yes, losing just a little bit of weight can be helpful. Every pound you take off, that's less weight on those joints. That's less pressure on your heart. It helps.
Let's go a little bit deeper into the study and talk about what it is that you want to do, what maybe the impact you want, and then maybe we could talk about like getting people ready to be a part of the study. So first of all, let's just go a little bit deeper
Mhm.
into what it is that you want to do with Log to Lose.
I love this study all day long. And I'll tell you why I love the study all day long. Most of the time when someone joins a study, many times when people join a study, there might be an intervention group and a control group, and people get an intervention, and other people might just fill out surveys. In this group, in Log to Lose, everybody is getting an evidence-based weight loss program for free. That means you're going to get classes, you're going to get individual attention with a registered dietitian, you're going to get a wireless scale, you're going to get a Fitbit. So everybody gets a lot of value for just joining the study. And they are getting really a state of the science weight management behavioral program, tops. So my first goal is like, let's make this accessible for everyone. So that's why I'm here today, is make sure everyone's aware that Log to Lose might be a great study for you to join if you're thinking about starting your weight loss journey or trying something a little different.
So you need, okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So you need participants for the
Mhm.
study. How many?
Across the two sites in total, we're going to be enrolling 700 people. We have already enrolled in Durham and throughout. We have enrolled just over 200 people. So we'll be enrolling in about another 200, up to 200 people here in Durham and the surrounding areas over the next year and a half. In fact, we're going to start enrolling for our next cohort very soon.
So when I asked you, I did not expect you to say 700. So you guys have got a lot of work to do to get these people into this study. So tell me who is eligible.
Oh, I would love to tell you. So you have to be an adult, 18 or older. You have to be carrying excess weight. That's a BMI of 30 plus. You have to be ready to start losing weight. You have to have a smartphone with a data plan. And you either have to live in Durham or be willing to drive to Durham. Really, we have people from several hours out, but you have to be willing to drive into Durham for our in-person baseline visits that happen at baseline, 6 months, 12 months, and 18 months. So really, that's only 4 touches to drive to Durham. So if you're willing to come to Durham 4 times over 18 months, you can be a part of the study. Unfortunately, we're only able to offer it in English at this time, so you have to be English speaking. And there's certain medications that may disqualify you if you're on certain types of diabetes medications, and we can get those. It's a long list of very strange sounding medicines, but there's an online screener that people can fill out that can help suss out whether they are on some of those medications. And we'll ask that you currently not be enrolled or in the previous month be in another sort of weight loss program.
Okay. Then what does the participation include? So what do you have to do if you say, okay, yes, you're a part of this, then what's next? What does participation involve?
Well, you'd come in for a baseline visit. You'd meet with someone from my study team, and they are all delightful ladies, so nice. And they would have you fill out some surveys and take your blood pressure and take your weight. They would give you a participant booklet, and then they would sign you up for a weight loss class. You'd attend online Zoom weight loss classes, 16 of them, and you would learn a lot of really great skills to start launching your weight loss journey. You'd also learn best practices on how to learn how to weigh yourself regularly and also how to log what you eat and drink. We do know that people who have more success losing weight and keeping that weight off are people who know how to, we call it self-monitor. But that just means taking a check and an accounting, a real accounting of what you're eating and drinking on a daily basis and hopping on the scale in a regular way. And those are really the kinds of skills that we're hoping that people will gain. So that's the first 6 months you'll be in those group weight loss classes. The next 6 months, you'll have a couple more of those group weight loss classes, but then you start getting some of that individual phone call attention with our registered dietitians. And our registered dietitian on this study is Michelle. She's amazing. And all the dietitians on the study are just super fantastic. They've been doing this all day long for decades and are deeply, deeply experienced. And they'll talk with you about challenges around how to maintain the weight that you may have lost up to that point. Because what we know is after about 6 months, we start to lose steam and we start to not want to keep doing the things that we were doing before that got us success on our weight loss journey. So really that next 6 months is how to kind of stay on that weight loss journey and maintain those losses, that weight loss that you might have had in the first 6 months or so. And then the last 6 months, we're just transitioning you back to sort of life outside the Log to Lose study. There's going to be a little more individual attention from the registered dietitian to help launch you and support you as you go back into the world and continue this, because weight management is really a lifelong journey.
So how free is free? Will people be compensated if they're
Yeah.
a part of the study or?
Yeah. That's great. That's a super duper great question. I'm all about honoring people's time. So the people are not compensated for that baseline visit, but they are walking out of the visit with a Fitbit and a state of the science wireless scale. And then when they come in for the 6, the 12, and the 18-month assessments, and those assessments are less than 30 minutes, in total, they will be getting sort of $25 to $35 every time that they come in.
So, okay. When people come in and they're a part of the study,
Mhm.
will you tell them, okay, what to eat? Will your coach be that involved to say, okay, this would be a good diet for you, or that would be a good plan for you? Or do people really have to kind of figure out what they eat and then you log it to see how they're either losing or gaining or staying the same?
So there'll be definitely the registered dietitians will develop a calorie budget or a calorie plan for people. So you're not in the Wild West figuring this out for yourself. And during the course of those classes during the first 6 months, that's when there's a lot of that good education that's happening around sort of what are the foods that you kind of really want to pay attention to. And we really kind of don't have like a list of foods that you shouldn't eat. That idea of like depriving yourself of things, that's not what this is about. So if you want to have a piece of chocolate, have a piece of chocolate, but enjoy that piece of chocolate. Savor that piece of chocolate, eat it mindfully, and eat in a mindful sort of way. So we're not saying only eat broccoli or only eat lettuce or only eat lean proteins. We're saying wherever you sit, whatever kind of foods that you have, let's figure out how we can approach those foods in a healthy way and let them fit into your calorie budget. We spend a lot of time talking about how foods from different cultures can fit into a healthy diet, how foods that we all like to kind of cheat on a little bit, how we can kind of, work those in when we want to. But it's all about approaching this. I like to think about this as a bank account. Like say you had like $1,500 or 1,500 calories. That's what you have to spend today. And how do you want to spend those 1,500 calories today? And being mindful of that. So if you want to have a little bit of ice cream, that's fine. Then you make up for it in a different way throughout the day. So at the end, you stay at below that 1,500 calorie cap. Does
Okay,
that answer your question?
oh yes, of course.
Mhm.
Our time is getting low.
Oh,
Yes, so I would like for you to tell us how we can be in contact to be able to see if we qualify for the study.
that's great. So our online screener, that's the first step, opens August 26th. I'm going to drop that date again. August 26th is when our online screener goes live. And that's on our website. And to find us, you go to www.log2lose.com. That's www.log, the number two, lose, LOSE.com. And that's the first step. You'll go and you'll fill out some surveys. And if you pre-qualify, then someone from our research team will call you and do a little bit more assessment about your eligibility. And then we'll invite you in for a study visit. And that's that.
Very good. Dr. Jennifer Giersch, PhD, is the principal investigator for the study Log to Lose, an evidence-based weight loss and management program. Thank you for your time, Jennifer.
Thank you. I could talk to you all day long. This was delightful.
Yeah, it was very informative and delightful for me as well. And I would like to thank you all in our audience for watching via YouTube, Facebook, and on Instagram, as well as listening to WNCU. We want you to follow us. We want you to like us. We want you to subscribe to our pages to see more of our archived shows. I'm Kimberly Pierce Cartwright, your host for COVID Conversations, and I thank you for tuning in.